boy, oh boy, everybody needs to watch and hear this. As Trump's VP, JD Vance, who has been getting smeared recently after coming Trump's VP by the left, smeared, wiped all through the mud. But this is how you respond. And I believe after this, he just nuked and obliterated Kamala Harris, especially her presidential campaign. Check it out, man.
I saw the other day Kamala Harris questioned my loyalty to this country. That's the word she used, loyalty. And it's an interesting word, simplify, loyalty, because there is no greater sign of disloyalty to this country than what Kamala Harris has done at our southern border. And I'd like to ask the Vice President, what has she done to question my loyalty to this country? I served in the United States Marine Corps. I went to Iraq for this country. I built a business for this country. And my running mate took a bullet for this country. So my question to Kamala Harris is, what the hell have you done to question our loyalty to the United States of America? And the answer, my friends, is nothing. So let's send a message to the media. Let's send a message to Kamala Harris. Let's send a message to every hardworking patriot from Minnesota across the country. We are ready to have President Donald J. Trump back, and we're going to work our tails off to make sure it happens. God bless you all. Thank you. And thank you for having me, Minnesota, a great state.
Whoa, boy, man. I got chills, y'all. What do y'all think of that, man? Comment down below. That should fire you up, man. But that is JD Vance for you. And again, make sure everybody watches and hears that. Make sure you share this video right now. Share it. Drop a like, comment. And I just want y'all to know, man, JD Vance wasn't in, like I say, our top 5. Y'all know our top 5, man, and just our top 3 from Brian Donalds, Vivek. You know, we threw in Tulsi Gabbard, Elise, and a lot of people said Tim. We was still had mixed emotions with Tim Scott, you know. But and again, a lot of you guys were saying that had the same exact VP choices. There's a lot of amazing candidates out there, talented people out there, man, which gave us like mixed emotions as well with JD Vance when they released the final 3 with Doug Burgum, JD Vance, and Marco Rubio, you know. But JD Vance is starting to stomp the ground pretty hard, man. But that is how you respond. As y'all seen lately, they have been just wiping this man through the mud as well. Just as we seen they've wiped Trump through the mud, sadly. You know, with all the, you know, the lies, the hatred, you know, just disinformation. You know, it's sickening what you see on these social media platforms as well. But we are stomping the ground hard, you guys. And he also even went on Fox and just responded again. So we're going to play that right now. But I hope everybody is doing well, man. That 2024 is treating all you beautiful people well, that you are in good spirits, that you're healthy, that you're smiling, that everything is going well for you guys and your family, your kids, you know, your neighbors, your friends, the strangers around the world. You know, millions of people are struggling right now, man, struggling. So I encourage you guys to spread love to one another. And if you get a chance to be a blessing to somebody, be a blessing, man. Lift them up, you know. People are going through it, man, and you actually never know what people are actually going through. You know, I talk to a lot of you guys on a daily basis, from comments, DMs, emails. You know, people are going through it, man. Going through it in these times that we're living in. You know, and these last 3.5, 4 years have been, I'm just being honest, it has been dog Terrible, man. People are sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, man. You should be fired up to go vote, man. Fired up. Fired up. And we encourage everybody to go out and vote. But let's go and jump straight in. I know you guys sometimes hate when I talk so much and get the yapping and the video get to being 40 minutes long, but just want to keep it real, man, because I relate to you guys. Again, I don't care where you're from. I don't care what your age is. I don't see color. One love to the human race, man. That's all. One love to the human race. It's Monday, baby. And we gonna throw some WD-40 on it. We're gonna throw some WD-40 on it. It's Monday. You know, stuff get to squeaking. You know, things get to crackling and cackling and breaking. We just throw some WD-40 on it and keep it pushing, baby. You know, this truck rides. We riding in that truck, man, all the way to November. Windows down, the AC unit don't work, windshield crack. You know, we need 4 new tires because all tires are showing thread. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We due for an oil change. Alternator going bad. Need new spark plugs. You know, when I try to crank it, it take a little time to turn over. You know, it finally cranked though. She gonna crank. She's a good girl. She got about 400,000 miles on her. You know, we riding, baby. We is riding, man. Yes, indeed. We gonna throw some WD-40 on it and keep it pushing, baby. Yeah. So let's go and get into it, man. But comment down below, what do you think of JD Vance, man? How do y'all feel that JD Vance around like right now as we speak? You know, with only 100 days left until November 5th. Boy. Again, a lot of people has been loving his VP pick, man, JD Vance. And like I say, I love how he responded. Again, make sure y'all share this video right now and people see that. And we're also going to play it one more time at the end of this video.
In a moment, we'll speak with Senator J.D. Vance. We have never met before, but we have many friends in common who tell me that he is smart and he is talented and he is more than capable. None is perfect, no, not one. That's what the good book says. And the American people are forgiving if we ask. Let's welcome GOP Vice Presidential candidate Senator J.D. Vance from the great state of Ohio. Welcome, Senator, and thank you for joining us. I've heard from many women, most of whom are conservative, and they would very much like to vote for President Trump and you, but, Senator, they are disappointed. So, nuns and priests aside, do you agree that there are people who very much love this country and are invested in its future, but they also happen to be childless?
Oh, of course I believe that, Trey. And if you look at the full context of what I said, it's very clear the Democrats have tried to take this thing out of context and blow it out of proportion, which is what they always do, Trey.
Yeah, the cat ladies, it's crazy, man. And it's crazy how they're taking everything right now with Trump and Vance, man. I tell you, you know, the Project 2025. I mean, if you go on social media, the way they're twisting things, and we know, and again, we're not surprised. But the way they're, man, it is sick, man. Just taking things completely out of proportion. Because again, they're desperate, you know. They're on their last hope, y'all. And again, we're gonna hear this gender and race card until November, sadly. Whether she's black or not. And it's sick. And all she could talk about is for the women, all the abortion, LGBT, you know, that's all we've heard in the last week, as she's the so-called Democrat nominee. You know, and there's bigger issues going on, huge issues going on, and something that could just be left up to the state, you know. Big things going on, man. And they're going to continue to spear these fellas through the mud. So be ready for it, man. And that's why I tell people, don't run with the first thing you see. Don't run with the mainstream media, the fake news. The disinformation. That's what they're spewing out, man. The hatred. But let's look again. He's finna respond, so let me go and get into it. Let me stop yapping. I apologize.
Thing out of context and blow it out of proportion, which is what they always do, Trey, because they don't have an agenda to run on themselves. And if you look at what the American people are most concerned about, Trey, it's not an out of context quip that I made 3 years ago. It's the fact that Kamala Harris, the border czar, opened the American southern border. It's the fact that the Democratic Party has become explicitly anti-family in some of their policies. In fact, you just heard Kamala Harris in a surface clip recently talk about how it was a bad idea to have kids because of climate change anxiety. So really what I'm trying to get at here, Trey, is that it's important for us to be pro-family as a country. Of course, for a whole host of reasons, it's not going to work out for some people. We should pray for those people and, of course, have sympathy for them. I still think that that means we should be pro-family, generally speaking, as a party. And I think that our country has become particularly hard for parents, especially under the policies of Kamala Harris.
All right, Senator, I want to ask you about the other part of that again is making news, but I'm not asking you because it's making news. I'm asking you more because people are calling me who very much would like to support you and President Trump. Dr. Connie Rice does not have children. Neither does my friend, your colleague, Tim Scott. George Washington did not have biological children, and neither did James Madison. So I think you will agree with me that direct offspring are not necessary to be fully invested in the future of this country.
Of course not, Trey. I do think that being a parent actually has a profound effect on somebody's perspective, and we should honor and respect that. But there are a whole host of people who don't have children for a whole host of reasons, and they certainly are great people who can participate fully in the life of this country. And that's not what I said, Trey. If you look at what the left has done, they have radically taken this out of context and, in fact, aggressively lied about what I've said. What I do think is true, Trey, and this goes to the heart of what I was talking about 3 years ago in those comments, but it's going to be something I continue to talk about, is that the left has increasingly become explicitly anti-child and anti-family. They've encouraged young families not to have children at all because of concerns over climate change. They've suggested that people who do have children are somehow being selfish, when I think being a parent is actually the most selfless thing that you can do, and again, really does transform your perspective. So this is not a criticism and was never a criticism, Trey, of everybody without children. That is a lie of the left. It is a criticism of the increasingly anti-parent and anti-child attitude of the left. There's one more thing I'm going to say on this, Trey. I think a lot of parents and a lot of non-parents look at our public policy over the last 4 years and ask, how did we get to this place? How did we get to a place where Kamala Harris is calling for an end to the child tax credit? How did we get to a place where we were masking toddlers years into the pandemic? I think it's because we radically underrepresent the perspective of parents in our public discourse. I'm going to keep on calling that out because I think it's important for parents to have a voice, and I'm proud to be on the ticket with President Trump, I think a real defender of parents and families.
All right, you served in uniform. President Trump says he can end the war in Eastern Europe. Can he do so, in your judgment, without ceding territory to Russia? And if so, how?
Well, Trey, I think that President Trump has a remarkable ability to engage with world leaders, in part because he established deterrence. People are afraid of him, and that is an important part of actually conducting public diplomacy well. If you look at the past 20 years of American history, Russia invaded another country when Bush was president, when Obama was president, and when Biden was president. The reason they didn't when Trump was president is because the president had actually established some real deterrence. So I think he's going to take that respect into a negotiating posture with both the Ukrainians and the Russians. And I think he's going to be able to find a resolution very quickly to this conflict because, look, we all agree Russia shouldn't have invaded Ukraine. But if you look at the reality on the ground, both the Russians and the Ukrainians are exhausted by conflict, and they respect President Trump. I think between those two, you can actually find the real genesis of a deal. And President Trump is the ultimate negotiator. He's shown that multiple times on the world stage. I think he'll show it again if we give him another shot in January, which I expect the American people to do.
Senator, when people are treated unfairly, the temptation is to respond in kind. But our justice system is symbolized by a blindfolded woman, The media portrays President Trump as bent on retribution when actually he forgives people for things they've said and done in the past. Can you assure voters a Trump-Vance justice system will be used as intended and not as a weapon of revenge or lawfare as it currently seems to be used?
Yeah, of course, Trey. And you know, I was critical of the president back in 2015 and 2016, and he has looked at me as somebody who can contribute meaningfully to the future of the country, so he asked me to be his running mate. This is not a vengeful guy. The media lies about Donald Trump more than anybody I've ever seen in public life. He's a good grandfather. He's a good father. He likes the American people and loves this country, and this is why he's doing it. As he said repeatedly, his retribution will be the success of the country. You compare that to the Harris administration, which has tried to throw the guy in jail, and I think has led to an escalation in political rhetoric that is unfortunately increasingly leading to violence in our country. Just take, Trey, one other point here. What the president said after he was nearly killed almost 2 weeks ago, he called for national calm and unity. If the media lies about Donald Trump were true, he would not have responded to an assassin's bullet as he did. And I think for a lot of Americans, whether they're pro-Trump or maybe more skeptical of him, but open to voting for him, don't believe the media lies. Believe the picture that you saw a couple weeks ago of a guy who stood defiant in face of an assassin's gun, but also called for national unity. That is a special human being, and I think we have an opportunity to make him president again.
It's also the guy who took a pass on Hillary Clinton when he won in 2016. He said, no, we're not going to go after her. But you're right. That is not the story that is told about him. Senator J.D. Vance, the GOP nominee for vice president from the great state of Ohio, thank you for joining us on a Sunday night.
What a way to respond. Way to come on, man. Again, he's very sharp. You know what I'm saying? He's growing on me even more. You know, because y'all know I was really, I don't know about Vance. You know, even him being he was a never Trumper, you know, which is a good thing in my opinion. He was a never Trumper, you know, so, boy. But he's growing on me, man. What do y'all think? Comment down below. But before we leave out here, again, we're going to play this very, very powerful clip. Make sure you share this video and everybody sees this, man. Everybody. I put it at the beginning of the video for the reason. I'm playing it again for a reason. Make sure everybody can see this, man. Because he just nuked, obliterated Kamala Harris. You know, I don't know how she responds to that, to this clip again. I don't know how she responds to it. You know, so let's go and get into it. And again, before I get out of here, I love you guys. I'm wishing the best in all you guys' life. And hey, one love, man. And we're gonna continue to spread the truth, call it for what it is, bring amazing updates, news, coverage, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new here. And I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. Enjoy this clip one last time.
I saw the other day Kamala Harris question my loyalty to this country. That's the word she used, loyalty. And it's an interesting word, simplify, loyalty, because there is no greater sign of disloyalty to this country than what Kamala Harris has done at our southern border. And I'd like to ask the Vice President, what has she done to question my loyalty to this country? I served in the United States Marine Corps. I went to Iraq for this country. I built a business for this country. And my running mate took a bullet for this country. So my question to Kamala Harris is, what the hell have you done to question our loyalty to the United States of America? And the answer, my friends, is nothing. So let's send a message to the media. Let's send a message to Kamala Harris. Let's send a message to every hardworking patriot from Minnesota across the country. We are ready to have President Donald J. Trump back, and we're going to work our tails off to make sure it happens. God bless you all. Thank you. And thank you for having me, Minnesota, a great state.